Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I cried. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues took me just fine.
Do 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 do.
All right, we're recording.
I was just gonna tell you it's a no makeup sweats kind of day.
Well, now you told everyone it's a no makeup sweats kind of day, so congratulations.
I know.
Hey, the video's actually working this time too, so that's
that's
gonna
even
exemplify
worse.
your no makeup, whatever you just said, day.
Oh man, hurry this out because I want to go play balloon. A balloon?
Just gonna skip over the intro.
Balloon.
Intro, Loud
I
Trouble
want-
LLC sponsoring today's podcast, Gen X Talks podcast. I said the word podcast.
Why did you start that over? Let's go. Ready? Take a breath. Ready? Let's reset her. Okay, let's go again.
Welcome to KGXT podcast from the KGXT studios, live 100 feet below occupied California. You're mocking me. Now don't do that. See,
You're not supposed to look.
I can see the camera.
Oh, damn it.
You know, I'm not.
I didn't know you were watching the camera.
I always have to watch the camera.
Would you just finish?
I did. No, you've ruined it. That time has passed. I can't do it anymore.
You didn't finish. You didn't do loud one. You didn't
I
do...
started with Loud Trouble LLC.
Oh.
Loud Trouble LLC is today's sponsor. Big trucks.
Oh, it's got to be one of those
I
days
can't
today.
remember. It was stuff.
Drink some Coke.
His
Get
birthday was
caffeinated.
yesterday.
Yes,
2 days
it
ago. 2 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah. He's look by the looks of him, he's got to be 96. He's old.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble for that. You're going to get a phone call after this podcast.
That's right. He's going to be a little.
Okay, I want to hurry because I got to go play a thing of balloons.
I knew.
Balloons?
Why do you want to talk about that stupid? That is such an
Balloons?
infuriating game. Okay.
No, I just started yesterday and I'm at level 35.
Ooh, well, it's not okay. There's a bunch of games called balloons. There's like tons.
Well, this one is like TD6.
TD6 or something.
Okay, TD6.
It's by the same company that makes Red Rain on Apple, that
Well,
other game.
I heard that
Ninja Kiwi. There it is.
our original son, our older son, our older
original
son's been
son.
playing it since the beginning. Like our
Really?
millennial son. That's what Gen Z Kid said.
The
and
tree
then,
hugging, pot smoking.
yeah, like
yeah.
when it was just balloons, not
Really?
Balloon 6 or whatever it is. So, yeah, he's been playing a really long time. I didn't even know the game existed.
I
But
didn't either. The kid, our most unoriginal kid, who's
the most famous kid of all of
if
them.
that one's our original kid, then the last kid has got to be
The most famous.
unoriginal kid. The most unoriginal kid. He's been trying to get me to play it for a month, and to be fair, the game.
It's fun.
It's a little tough to start playing because you got to place monkeys strategically in a place to pop balloons. Then you hit the go button. You just play. You hit go.
But you can click and upgrade during the game. You don't have to sit there and watch.
Well, no, but I'm trying to get people hooked on it by describing how simple it is. If you go off the reservation talking about 700 things you can do, people are going to say, "Never mind, I don't want to play that game."
It's very addicting.
It is super addicting.
So-
I am shirking some of my responsibilities.
Oh,
And I got to stop doing that. Yeah.
shame on you.
The bad part for me about I love the game. I am addicted to the game. But the bad part is that you if I play it for like one game can last 40 minutes. And if I lose, I don't want to start over and go to the whole 40 minutes. I don't want to start back at the beginning. It's too long of a game. You know, but then I'm addicted. So about 20 minutes goes by and I'm like, all right, I'll try it again. And then there I am back at the seat again.
Oh, Doubt, you're talking about addicted. Do you remember when we started playing video games
They
when
were
they first
nothing
came
like
out?
I know, nothing like
But
that.
they were addicting.
Yeah, they were.
We
Yeah.
had the Atari console come out, and you're just sitting there going, "Oh, I remember playing pole position. I'm gonna get pole position. I'm gonna get it. I gotta keep trying."
A friend of mine down the street. I lived on Allott Avenue in Van Nuys, and my friend's name was John Johnson or John. He had two names.
How original!
John Johnson. Yeah, it was two names. He had. I forget his other name now.
That sounds like a porn name. John Johnson.
Welcome to John Johnson in Log Jammin'. It was. He had an Atari, so we played Asteroids, Pac-Man, Combat, Space Invaders, and Missile Command until his parents absolutely kicked us out. Absolutely, like, get out of the house, because we just sit there and play it in
All
his den.
day long.
I couldn't stop playing it.
My dad and I were addicted to Pong when it came out. Remember Pong? We would sit there. I had my dad sitting there playing
I
with
didn't
me.
play Pong as much as everyone did, but my favorite stand-up game, like arcade game, was Galaga.
Mine was Asteroids.
Galaga. I went to Disneyland probably 17,000 times, but when I was a kid, we used to go all the time. And
They used to have an arcade.
Tomorrowland had a big arcade. When arcades were big, Disneyland had the biggest arcade. And it had many of each game. And it was still, there was 1,000 kids in there.
You got to tell them where it was. It was over by...
I just says Tomorrowland.
Yeah, but where?
It was, if you're facing Space Mountain, it was to your right.
Yeah, as the elevators go up for Space Mountain, it was just to the right in that area. I think it's a gift store now.
First of all, it wasn't elevators. It was escalators.
Sorry.
And they're gone.
Yes, they are.
But if you were standing there and looking straight at Space Mountain, it was to your right on the curve of Tomorrowland.
It was
where
huge.
You came in. It was gigantic. And the cool part that I saw, that I liked about it, was that it had, because there was 1,000 kids in there, you couldn't see what someone was playing. You couldn't get close enough to the machine. They put monitors above the machine on the wall, kind of tilted down above a lot of the games, not all of them.
Yeah.
But you could watch how people were doing, how kids were playing.
Yeah.
I thought I was.
You went all the way to Disneyland to play in the arcade. Congratulations, Guy. Your mom and dad were brilliant. They spent.
Are you making fun of my parents? I will clip this part out and go, Mom, look what she said about you. I'll send it to her.
Your mom probably dragged you out of that video game arcade area.
I think she was just glad I was gone. She's like, here, go play in the arcade. I thought I was like a movie star playing, because as you're playing, there's 1,000 kids behind you watching the monitor above you. That's
where my arcade experience came from.
I never wanted to play anywhere but Disneyland again after that.
Mine was in the Vegas casinos, because back in the day, there was just one corner of the casino for kids to go, and it was the arcade. So as soon as my dad won, guess who was getting those quarters? This girl, to keep me encaged right there so they can go gamble.
So you said Asteroids was your story?
Yeah. My story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an asteroid story.
Okay, what is it?
I think it was the summer between 5th and 6th grade, if I remember right. And we always used to go to Arizona because we had a ton of relatives that lived in Prescott, Arizona. Iron Springs 4x4 and Off-Road Center, which was started in the 70s, was my uncle or my second cousin. Anyway, so we go down there every summer. And we were down there for probably a week or so. We went into a Safeway, and there was, on your way out of a Safeway, because sometimes there was video games in grocery stores back then.
So you'd leave your mother alone?
Yeah, there was a video game called Deluxe Asteroids.
Oh.
I had never heard of it. Now, remember, I'm the king of video games in Southern California, in L.A. County.
Really? Who deemed you that?
I did.
Obviously.
I wrote myself a badge, made myself a little crown, walked around.
Like you do, like the Gen X Talk
That's
shirts.
right.
Yep,
Like,
it says the general.
Just my name right
You're
on
still
it.
naming yourself.
Been doing that since I was a kid.
Labels.
So I walked out to, from the aisle, where you checkout aisle, and I looked at this game. I said, "Oh my God!" I was going back to my mom. Give me some quarters, and so I went to play it, and it was Deluxe Asteroids, and no one had ever even heard of Deluxe Asteroids. Turns out, I found out later that from someone who did distribution on this as I got older, they would put it in obscure little towns and see how it did. See if it would function correctly. They didn't just plop a brand new Deluxe Asteroid into Chuck E. Cheese's during a Friday night.
Wait, was that at Sunval grocery store?
I just told you I was in Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, Prescott,
Safeway.
Arizona. Sorry.
Try listening to the story. I
am.
I said I was in Prescott, Arizona.
I'm sorry.
My family was there. We were
I'm having a
visiting
blonde
for a
moment.
week. I told you that, you know what? You really don't listen to me, do you?
It's the fumes.
There's no fumes. You know what? I liked it better when you
I smoked too much this morning. I Oh, no.
I liked it better when you were yawning all the time because at least I thought you were paying attention. All right. There we go. So I went in and played Deluxe Asteroids, and it was nothing like the other. It was something like it, but it was so different. It had a shield. It had some really cool stuff. The graphics were a little bit more green instead of the black and white, the gray.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get back home. I come back home. All of my friends, I'm like, I just played Deluxe Asteroids. They're like, yeah, sure you did.
I was going to say, they're saying you're full of shit.
They did say, every one of them did. You know, there was one kid who believed me? Bobby Tetrick.
Bobby Tetrick. He'd believe everything.
He believed me. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm describing it. I'm drawing it on paper.
Dr. Z needs to talk about Bobby Tetrick.
What does this have to do with I'm talking about asteroids, man.
All right, go.
And so I'm telling you, and nobody believed me. And then like 6 months later, it shows up at every 7-Eleven, at every Chuck E. Cheese. Now all of a sudden it's everywhere. I'm like, I fucking told you guys. But anyway, that was, I got to play that before anybody.
That's
I just
cool.
Wandered into a test market.
The other one I liked was Centipede.
Yeah, Centipede was great. But
because I liked the traction ball.
Yeah, the trackball was good.
That was very cool. That was a whole different experience than the...
Centipede had trackball. Missile Command had a trackball.
Yeah.
Tempest, if you ever played Tempest...
I did.
Had a dial.
Yeah, I didn't like Tempest.
It had a dial for Tempest. That was hard.
I didn't like Tempest. But the tracking ball was a new concept.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of cool.
Oh,
so,
I love the trackball.
So did I.
It was
you could,
so responsive.
Oh, yeah. And it was so touchy. Like, you could just barely move it. It was great.
The game I hated when it came out, and I'm guessing this was like in 84-ish. Games had been out a long time. Upright video games.
You were still playing in high school?
That's what you're getting from this story?
You said 1984.
83 then, okay? Is 83. Does that make it better? Now
that's cute. That's really cute.
I don't like it when you put my shit on the street out here. You're making me look bad in front of all my friends.
Are you turning red?
No,
because I just called you out?
Because I'm getting mad. It's anger, not blushing.
It is not.
It's anger. This is an anger red.
That's anger?
This is anger.
Then what's the other face I get all the time? I'd like to know.
Confusion because I'm talking to a woman. Oh, cha-ching.
That's, wow, you had to really go far for that one. God, that hurt me right here. Right here. Yeah. Hurt me right here.
Hurt me. Cut me deep, Mick. Cut me deep.
You hated what video game?
Dragon's Lair.
I don't know anything about that. Because, like most people, I wasn't playing video games in high school.
I said it was 83.
Oh, I'm sorry. In 83, I wasn't playing video games.
Okay, well, I was still an aficionado.
I was chasing around football players and going to football games.
Okay, I'm just letting you know that Dragon's Lair was a really hard game. We used to play it at the Northridge Fashion Center. And the reason it was stupid...
The Northridge Fashion Center, cute. You were still mall rat.
What's wrong with going to the mall? Now, look, I know you didn't go to the mall as much as I went to the mall. You're a big freaking baby.
I got to back off because I'm just...
Dragon's Lair was stupid because it was great. Everybody played it. It was $1 to play it because it was a cartoon. Oh. It was an actual cartoon, but you can't in 1883 or 84, whatever year. Well, you can't play a cartoon. You can't move a cartoon around. So basically, you had the joystick would sit there and it would play out this scene. And you'd have to move the joystick quickly, tap it once left, and then the character would go left. And then the next scene would play.
What?
Or you tap the thing to the right, and the character would play the next scene. And you had to just, at the end of it, something would flash yellow, and you had to point the stick one time, one chance, one quick thing.
That doesn't sound like fun.
And if you missed it, you died. And your $1 was over.
And you're dead.
And you're dead.
Did you die?
A lot. In fact, I never beat the game. I never even got halfway through the game. It wasn't until the internet came out 30 years later when someone actually put online, here's what it looks like. And they ran together a video of what it looked like if you got every level right.
Wow.
And it would tell this whole story. Because I would have never seen it. I spent $30 on that game and didn't get past even the first quarter of it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, Dragon's Lair is my most hated game. Yeah.
I don't recall that game. At all. Sorry.
We have it.
We do?
Yeah. In the arcade upstairs in the game room, that big upright stand-up arcade
It's in there?
It's in there. Yeah, it's one of the games. It's a
I might have to, start that thing up and go check it out.
That way you can come out and go, you're right, this is stupid. Why'd you waste money on it?
I'll confirm it.
Think we can start the lectures all over again.
All right, I'll do that.
All right, good. Thank God.
So,
what?
Are you going to tell everybody about the Coast Guard lunch? Because you didn't really tell anybody anything about it.
I really didn't. I posted on the members pages about it a little bit.
We had lunch with the Coast Guard.
Well, not
Or
the
a
whole Coast Guard, but yeah, some of the one guy who was a fan of the program. In fact, he got started on Gen X Talks on these podcasts.
Correct.
And so he's been catching up on some other stuff. Anyway, he wrote us an email. He's in the Coast Guard. Would like to talk to us about doing some sort of an advertising gig. So we went and had lunch with the guy. Cool cat drove all the way down here from Fresno.
Fresno.
A couple hours away. And to make this a short story, you
don't have any short stories.
Everything on me's long.
No, I didn't say on you. I said you have.
Everything about me's long. There. Is that better?
No, it's not better, but go ahead.
So the guy drives all the way down, and the advertising part, the short version of the advertising is it's very difficult to move advertising through any sort of military. They do, Army advertises, the Navy advertises, stuff like that. But he's going to ask for some pre-recorded material that they have. He's going to ask me to re-record it word for word, so there's no question about whether the words can be used. If they approve it, then we can move forward and do some stuff, but it's still going to take months and months to do it. The good part that came out of it is the guy is, and I'm going to say this wrong, he's a police officer in between 3 military bases or 3 branches.
Yeah, something like that.
It was really weird because he goes...
No, he works with the city police.
Yeah, he goes...
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But he's paid by the Army.
Right, Department of
Army. Department of Army.
Yeah.
Not the Army.
It was very confusing. Didn't even know that existed.
I didn't either, but he has a position where he's not an MP. He's not a city police officer. He is in the Coast Guard.
And they can carry.
And he interacts and he arrests and he goes to situations involving Army, Navy,
Air Force, Marines.
I don't think did he say
joking.
Air Force?
No, he didn't.
I think he said Army, Navy, and Marines were the ones, but he deals with them all the time. And so that is going to turn into an interview.
Yes.
We're going to have him in studio. He's just got to clear it with his bosses that he can talk about some of his stories and he'll explain, but he's going to drive down. Once he gets that cleared, that's going to be a really interesting interview.
Absolutely.
That should be fun. But anyway, so the lunch went well. It just put something very in motion that's very slow, but it also gave us a chance to get to know the guy and bring him down. He didn't give me permission to say his name. That's why I'm avoiding saying it. He didn't give me permission to do that, so I'm not going to say it right now. But that will be a great interview. So overall, it was a good lunch. I think it's really positive. And he was a nice guy too.
Yeah, it was a really nice lunch.
Would have helped if the Coast Guard had paid for lunch, but whatever. It's fine. If the Coast Guard doesn't want to pay for lunch, whatever. I guess I'm fine with that.
All right.
I need to tell you something though. You keep making me on these podcasts tell automotive stories.
What's wrong with that? Because people want to hear your voice. Want to hear your story? They want to hear story time with Gen X Dad.
They can hear my voice without it always being an automotive
story time with Gen X Dad.
Well,
it's a section of the podcast.
Then why can I tell other stories? Why that could be an automotive story?
Because they like your automotive stories.
People are sending me emails now about cars, and some of them are like, "How do I fix my starter?" All right, I can help with that a little bit or point them in the right direction. But a lot of them are confused about procedure.
Meaning what?
As a customer, what do you do when you go to the counter? What should I say when you go to the dealership? Let me explain something, and I'm going to try to. I don't want to use the words "dumb it down." I don't want to say that because then it makes
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, I'm trying not to talk down to people. I'm going to try to shorten it so it's not confusing. But you guys have to remember how most mechanics get paid. Not all, but most mechanics get paid on what's called flat rate. So let me explain how flat rate works. Let's say there's a car and it takes a mechanic an hour to do a tune-up. And let's say they're charging $100 an hour at this shop. So the shop gets $100 and the mechanic gets 25 of those dollars. So the guy comes out and says, "Here's a car. It needs a tune-up. You're getting paid an hour. You're getting paid $25. That mechanic is going to make $25 for doing the tune-up. Now, what if that tune-up is difficult for him on that car and it takes him 3 hours?
You still get paid an hour.
Right. He still gets his $25.
That means he's slow.
He's slow. That's right. Now,
that means he's slow.
The mechanic can't go to the customer and go, look, man, it took 3 hours in your car, and so I want $75
Nope.
instead of the $25 you were going to pay me. You know, the garage is going to charge you $300, and the customer will be like, no, sorry, it pays an hour. Sorry, it took you longer. The shop gets the $100, and they're going to give you $25 as a mechanic.
Can I ask a customer question?
You make $25 an hour. Go.
Can you ask how long? Can you go into a shop or into the dealership and ask how long is in the books to do this?
Absolutely. That's what it's called. It's called book time. There is Mitchell is one of the most common one. All data. It's universal. It's on computer system. They can flip the monitor around and show you how much time it's supposed to take to do that.
So that's one question a customer could ask.
Right.
Okay.
So now here comes the problem.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a mechanic and I make $25 for doing that tune-up, and it takes me an hour. Now, the first couple times it takes me longer than an hour. Well, I still only make my $25.
Right.
But then I get pretty good at it, and it only takes me an hour. I'm getting it. I work an hour, I get paid $25. I work an hour, I get paid $25. But as time goes on, I'm getting faster. I'm also going on the Snap-on tool truck, and I'm buying tools that'll make that job go quicker for me. I get it to where I can do that job in 20 minutes. So the customer brings in the car, hands the keys over. I take it around back. 30 minutes later, I bring the car back. I'm done because it took me 5 minutes to drive the car back there. It takes me 20 minutes to do the job and then 5 minutes to drive the car back out front. And the customer says, why did you charge me an hour?
Because that's your book rate.
Why did you charge me an hour? It only took you 30 minutes. The car's back. I'm not paying an hour. Yes, you are paying an hour. You're going to pay because that's what it pays. The job, who cares how long it takes?
Right.
And then the customer this has happened. The customer will say to me and say, hey, man, it only took you 30 minutes. I'm not paying you a full hour for that. I say, why? Well, you got it done quicker, so I'm going to get charged less. Next time that guy comes in and on an hour job, I take 3 hours and go, well, now you're paying 3 hours.
Because he just had an exceptional mechanic that do it in 30 minutes.
The point is that customers don't mind reducing the cost when you can do it quicker. Hey, you can't charge me an hour. It only took you 30 minutes. But if I take 3 hours, they say, sorry, dude, I'm only paying the hour.
Understood.
I'm only going to pay an hour. I'm not paying the 3. I can't help it if it took you 3. I'm only paying you 1 hour. They don't, but they get pissed if you go. They don't realize the years it takes you to get faster, the expensive tools you have to buy to make your job go quicker. All they care about is you only took half an hour. I'm not paying an hour.
Yeah, understood.
They're very one-sided customers about that.
On the flip side of that, so if it takes an hour and a mechanic can do 2 tune-ups in an hour,
yeah,
then they make more money, right?
Yeah, I can do 3 tune-ups in an hour. I can make that $25 3 times in that hour. I can make $75 an hour if I can do 3 tune-ups in the hour.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a real story. I was working in Las Vegas at a Mazda dealership, and they had a recall and recalls never pay you shit because the factory's paying you. You know, usually it's about a quarter of the time or half of the time you should get. Anyway, Mazda 929s, was working at a Mazda dealership, and Mazda 929s, which at the time was their luxury car, they had a problem with their windows that went up and down. And as the automatic window would go down, it would unlock and open the door.
What?
The window would catch.
Oh, hit that thing.
It would hit the mechanism and it would unlock the door and open it as you're driving.
Oh,
the door
no.
would pop open. So they had this, it's true. So they had this stupid little plastic guard. It was maybe 4 inches by 4 inches and it had a hook. And you had to bring the car back, take off the door panel. Once you took off the door panel, you pulled open the plastic and you could reach down inside where the window and reach up inside with this plastic piece. There was a special place you hooked it. And if you hooked it in the right place, then you could put the plastic back on, put the door panel back on, hook all the rods and linkages and wires up, and test it. The window would now slide down and hit this little plastic guard, and that would keep it away from the mechanism that would open the door. Okay. So this little plastic piece, it was pretty stupid, but
that was how they solved their problem.
And they did. It worked. It worked fine. It worked very well.
It's a command hook.
But they They would only pay you half an hour. And it's like, come on, dude. Taking apart the door panel and all the stuff and putting this thing in, it takes an hour. So one day I was working a little bit late at Mazda and I got one of these cars and the service manager says, hey, you got to do this before you go home. The customer's waiting. And I'm like, God damn it. So I'm looking at it and I'm just angry and it's in my stall and I'm looking at it. Before I took the door panel off, I kind of looked straight down
the window,
down inside the door. The window was rolled down and I was looking down inside there going, I wonder if I could. So I rolled the window all the way up so the window was out of my way.
Okay.
And I took 2 plastic wedges. They're like, do you remember the old door stops you put under your door so your door would stay open, your front door, your back door? They look like those, but they're not rubber. They were hard plastic.
Okay.
So I rolled the window all the way up. I stuffed them down inside where the window goes and tapped them with a hammer, and it spread open the door
opening
panel.
Okay.
It spread open the door area.
Yeah.
Now I can really see down inside where the window's going to go.
So I push the window aside.
Push the window aside, push the actual metal door apart. There's an outside of your door and an inside of your door.
And that didn't mess with the mechanism inside I
didn't know if it was going to or not. I wanted to try it.
Pretty good that your mechanic wife knows this stuff.
So I look down. Now I can see down inside there. But where it goes is still pretty far down. So I went and got this really long pair of pliers. I took it to the grinder and I ground my pliers super thin. I took this black piece of plastic and I shoved it down there and I clipped it where it goes. And I took out my wedges and I was done in like 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah. So I told my service manager, I said, listen, I'll work Saturday if all I can do is these door panels. And he's like, nobody wants to do those door panels. I go schedule every customer to bring it in Saturday.
Oh my God.
I'll get them all done. I'm not kidding. I didn't even bring them in my stall. I went out to the parking lot where there was like 40 of these things. And I just took the keys with me and my 2 wedges, my hammer and my pliers and a bag full of these plastic deals. And I just went to each one, opened the door, bang, bang, clip, bang, bang. I'm not kidding. I did 40 of those things and they paid half an hour each. So 20 of them was a full hour before half the day was over.
Oh my God.
I was knocking these things down left and right.
And none came back? You had none come back with the same problem? They worked?
Yeah, because
unbelievable.
I could hook them right where they go. You could see it. You just had to spread the door panel up. It's funny you should say that didn't mess with any of the doors. Okay, when you get an American car in, remember this is the 80s and 90s when car doors were heavy. A car door weighed about as much as a Volkswagen back then. And if a door didn't shut right, if it didn't close right, if it didn't seal right, water got in, air got in.
You heard it.
Oh yeah, and on an American car, even brand new, you had to jack up the door and take shims out, rebolt, align up, tighten bolts, loosen bolts. It was a process to get it to fit right. You know how they did it on Toyotas and Hondas and Nissan and Mazdas? Mm-mm. We would, if the door didn't fit right, you'd go and take it back into your stall, open the door, grab the bottom, grab the top, and bend the door. You just, as hard as you can, shut it 3 times, not enough, bend it some more, shut it 3 times, bend it. You bent those doors by hand, pushing them where they needed to go. That's how flimsy.
Yeah, that's a real safety issue. That's really good. If you can bend it by hand, can you imagine an accident?
I'm just telling you that's how we did it. And Toyotas, Hondas, Nissans, and Mazdas, if there was ever a door that didn't fit right, I mean, obviously if it was bent, but if it was just not quite sealing, you just bend it. You bend it right into place and keep bending it till no heat. That's like, okay, the over-under on yawning is 9 today. That's 3, so we're under 9 for the betting on that.
It's this room. It's got to be.
I'm taking it personally. You yawn so much. It must be my stimulating conversation.
It is.
Okay. So anyway, that really wasn't supposed to be the automotive story, but I was getting emails and there were some questions and I said, you don't understand flat rate. Yeah. You know, a mechanic can get paid. We would get paid 6 hours to R&R a rear wheel drive transmission.
Tell everybody what R&R is.
Remove and replace. You can take out raise the vehicle up in the air, take out the rear wheel drive transmission. We got it down to 45 minutes to an hour, but we get paid the whole 6 hours.
Wow!
Because that's that's what it pays. And before anybody asks, well, who comes up with the 6 hours? Who comes up with the 1 hour? The way it used to be back when they first did this, they would give a mechanic a job and time him, and he could only use manual, no air tools, manual tools only.
Okay.
He would do the job once, then they would have him do the exact job again, and however long it took that mechanic the second time, his second time doing it with manual tools, that's what became the book time. That's what they passed around to the country.
Why a second time? Why would they?
Because they want you, because you get it familiar. They want him to be familiar with it. That's fair.
like a mechanic that's done it
it's
before.
Okay, do this tune-up. All right, you did it, and it took him 2 hours. Now do it one more time, and we're going to watch you. Well, that time it only took him an hour. That becomes the standard.
Well, if you're a rear-end mechanic, you could just bust that shit out like quickly, or a front end, or whatever.
If you're very familiar. Well, that's the thing with domestic shops. You went into a Ford dealership or a General Motors dealership or a Chrysler dealership, and you said, I'm a brake and front end guy, and that's what you did. One guy says, I'm a tune-up drivability guy. That's what you did. But when you go to a Japanese shop, you do everything. You are a bumper to bumper. They don't care. They don't specialize. And if you say, well, I'm a front end guy, they're like, tough shit. Go put that transmission in. Well, I'm a brake guy. Yeah, we don't care. This car's got an electrical problem. Like, God damn it. American used to dealerships would keep you and train you for one specific area. And that's what you did. And that's still that way as far as I know. My friends who still work in the dealerships, our friend Rob was a transmission guy. It's all he does is transmissions. That's it. Was just transmissions forever. But when you go to a Japanese shop, there isn't anything. You're not allowed to say no. You have to do it.
So you were talking about customers, what they need to know. So you said you talked about flat rate.
Yeah,
Is
there was
more?
a bunch of others. Yeah, but I don't remember every email. But I just walk them through it. One of the things that was confusing to a couple people was, why do they get charged so much when the job takes so little time? And like if you program a key, right, and the dealership decides you're going to pay $100 to program a key,
right?
It's $100 for the key, and it's $100 to program it. So $200, you're out the door. Well, it takes the guy, maybe the mechanic, to actually program it, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And they're like, well, that's not fair. And he's like, the whole thing is they set the price. If you don't like it, then don't go there.
Well, when you say set the price, say again, who sets the price?
Well, like I said, back in the day, it was universally set. There's a company called Mitchell. And Mitchell is an independent company that sets the price for garages. All Data is another one, independent, and and they're very similar. They're always very close. But dealerships set their price and their times by themselves.
Oh, okay.
So
each dealership can be different.
Every Ford dealership has to be the same.
Well, I'm talking about different make.
Yes, they're all different for what they do. Absolutely.
How come they get to do something totally different than what?
It's their car. It's their manufacturer. They set the. In fact, I told you that how they did that back in the day was they would send a mechanic and say, "Okay, let's see you do this job. We're going to time you." They don't do that anymore. Now they go to Ford and say, "How long does it take your guy to do it?" And they make an adjustment based on what the book time for Ford is. Normally, it's a little bit more because Ford mechanics can do things faster. That's all they work on.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The guy doing the same thing on the car all day long. I'm sure he can bust out a bunch.
Yeah, Mitchell will go in and they will. Mitchell will go in and say, "Well, how long does this job take? 6 hours for a Ford mechanic. They give 7.5." Is now the standard for outside repair if you just have a shop in town. We are spending way too much time on car stuff.
Well, I have one more car question though, because because this is kind of important. So, because we've dealt with this in the past when we owned the shop, was the BAR, the Bureau of Automotive Repair.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that is to people that don't know what it is? It's almost like an interview. I'm doing this.
They say that the Bureau of Automotive Repairs in California, I know Oregon doesn't have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't have a bar up there. And it's supposed to be, they say, well, we're here for your protection for the shop, which is a lie. All they do is the Bureau of Automotive Repair is there for the consumer. And there's a good aspect to it. If a shop rips you off, you can go to the bar and they are experts at finding out if you ripped a customer off. So if you go in there and you, as a customer, and say, I think I was taken advantage of, they'll find out. And here's the thing. In California, and I'm going to try to say this without exaggerating, you can miss a period at the end of a sentence on your paperwork. And your paperwork becomes invalid, and you must refund the customer's entire ticket.
Yeah, that's happened to us.
And I've said, okay, fine, fuck off then. I'll give them their money back. Give me my parts back. I want my starter back. I want my battery back. I want my spark plugs back. If you're going to make me refund the money, then I want my parts back. And the Bureau of Automotive Repair says, fine, as long as that customer gives you permission to take them off, because you can't work on a customer's car without permission. I said, well, there's no way they're going to give me permission to get my stuff back. So you just gave them all their money back, and they
Brand
get to
new
keep the parts because I missed a comma or a period, and you disagreed with my, why I forgot the period at the end of the sentence. Yes, that's correct. And
I can't believe that's only in California.
Well, I don't know that I said it's the only one I know of. I've never worked in New York. I've never worked in Florida. I don't know. But the Bureau of Automotive
What about
Repair,
Nevada? You worked in Nevada.
I don't recall there being a Bureau of Automotive Repair or anything like that in Nevada.
We'll talk about how that was one of the reasons why we stepped away from the business was because...
Well, there's professional customers.
Exactly. That's where I was
customers
going.
learned that if you call them and say, hey, your car needs this and here's the estimate, and they say, go ahead, if you don't write down the moment you talk to them, if you don't write in your paperwork, I talked to Sam at 12:02 p.m. on Wednesday, and I told him this, he gave me, if you don't write that exactly, and if you miss one part of that, when he comes in to pick it up, he just goes and he pays the bill quietly, he gets his copy and he looks at it, and if you have messed up on, oh, you didn't write down the time you called me. Well, I know, I wrote down that I talked to you on Wednesday, Sam. Yeah, but you didn't write down the time.
Yeah.
Well, so what? We talked on Wednesday. Who cares that I didn't write down whether it was noon or 4 in the afternoon? He goes straight to the bar, points it out to them, says, look right here.
I know the rules.
You know the rules. Then they come back down. I got to give them all their money back.
Yeah.
There are so many professional customers that if you make one little tiny error. So all the shop owners that I knew jacked up their prices. It was kind of like insurance. If they have 1,000 customers, they're going to charge double and triple for those thousands of customers because there's going to be 20 that you have to give all the money back to.
And it's so stressful.
Oh, it's
you
terrible.
never know. You're kind of working under the gun, not knowing if this car is one of those people or not.
They could, and the bar will go to court with them and tell the judge that you owe them the money. So you can't even fight it by not paying them. But
you'd think they'd be more on your side.
Yeah, they're not at all. They pretend they're. That is how they come to you and say, hey, we're here for you. We're here for you. We're here. That's all you hear them say is that, this is really just to protect you from these professional customers. Yeah, if you really want to protect us, use some common sense and don't side with them all the time. Anyway, customers were the best and the worst part of owning a business for me.
An independent business.
I loved working on cars for people that appreciated it. And we had customers that would give us turkeys at Thanksgiving. Yep. They would remember my birthday and they'd bring in, some chocolate or send me a pizza.
Customers.
Oh, we had some of the greatest customers I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. But, the ones that are bad, you just spoil the whole thing. You don't even want to do it anymore. If I go by where our shop was, I still get sick to my stomach thinking I don't want to come down here.
That's so sad.
I couldn't for years.
It was tough the last 2 or 3 years.
I hated it. I hated going to work really every day. I hated the customers. I loved the good ones, but there were so many people that were just out to get you as a customer, and they knew they had the Bureau of Automotive Repair in the state of California on their side. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, and it made me feel bad. Thanks for taking that walk down memory lane. Love that. This is a great
sorry.
podcast.
No, it was interesting. So from the last week's podcast till now, I have had probably, I'm not going to exaggerate here, probably 8 emails asking what the app was that I couldn't talk about.
Oh, that thing with
my walking.
Your walking app. Yeah, that's your leukemia walk. I don't know what it was
6,000 steps a day, every day in November for LLS, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
So because you've advocated that, because you put that on the Facebook pages and been talking to people, it's now all over my Facebook feed. I can't go anywhere where it doesn't show other people holding up their watches and saying, "Look at my steps." I mean,
we're raising money for awareness of leukemia.
I got it. I do.
Their research helped keep me here, right?
I got it. I do understand it, but it's just every time I open up Facebook to go conduct some Gen X Talks business.
Just 3 more weeks. You only have about 3 more weeks.
Every feed. So what about this app?
So I cannot name the app because they don't.
You still can't?
No.
Wow.
No, I'm not, because it's a big deal. And anyways, a lot of people, about 8 or 9 people, have emailed me asking what the app is. Even my beautiful sister-in-law did last night.
So you can tell them in an email, but you can't tell everybody in a podcast.
Yeah, because that's like promoting their brand, and it's a big brand that I use. So
what is it a bad brand?
No.
Then why wouldn't you promote it? That's like me saying I'm not going to talk about the Dodgers if they don't sponsor me. Fuck those guys.
All right, I'll tell.
The blue and white baseball team from LA. I'm not going to say their names because they're not sponsoring me.
All right. So when I say it, everybody's going to go, what? It's Peloton. Like Peloton, the bikes, or Peloton. I guess they've gone into treadmills. Peloton. Remember when you used to?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, a lot of people know. It's a big brand of. They used to do bikes where it has a TV screen in the front and you can ride through Central Park or whatever. Well, they've branched out to treadmills, which they've branched out to this app. And Marcy told me to use it when I walk, because sometimes it gets kind of boring walking by yourself.
In detail about the app on how we talked already about how the app tells you when to stop. It tells you when to stretch. It tells you when to go faster. You were just being such a bitch. You wouldn't say their name without getting paid. Wow. Wow. The level you...
I want to be sponsored by Peloton.
I want to be sponsored by anything. No one's sponsoring us for shit.
Well, what I'm trying to say is a lot of people, when you say that, you think that they're exclusive, that you have to have the machine to use the app, but you don't. No. That's what I thought. Yeah. But you don't. If you go on there, they have the different programs.
There's a lot of people using it on Facebook, doing this thing you're doing. And it wouldn't surprise me after you told everybody, they're calling you going, look, just tell us the name. I mean, if it's really that good, I want it.
It is. It's great. And the other feature is that if you get the Peloton app, you can friend me and we can,
Wow. Walk together virtually.
Wherever you are in the world. Yes.
So our daughter comes over, one of our millennial daughters, and every time she sees me, because it's been a while since she comes here and talks to me, she got to tell me stories. So I'm trying Dad. Yes, I know. I'm like trying to walk away here. Dad, come here. I can tell you something. So today's story was all about the orthodontist. And I'm like, oh my God, there cannot be a more boring story right now. But that's what it was. It was the orthodontist. And
you loved it, and you know it. You love this daughter so much.
At the end of the story, she goes... towards the end of the story, she goes, and this orthodontist, he looks at me and he's like, you are my best customer. You're absolutely my best patient. You're the most wonderful. And I stopped and I go, did he really say that? She goes, no, but he should have, because I am really wonderful. I'm following all the rules. And I went, if I hadn't asked you that, you just pawned yourself off as the best customer, the best patient for this guy. And she goes, Dad, I'm serious. I should be.
She's way ahead of the curve.
She says, this guy should have told me how wonderful I was. He's just the orthodontist. He's fixing your face. And so she moves on. But I just thought that was funny that I called her out and she goes, well, no, he didn't really say that, but he should have.
Well, you have to say she's using the Invisalign, which is a little different than regular braces. What does that do with
anything? What does that make a difference?
Because I was such a non-believer of the Invisalign. It's just a plastic retainer thing that goes, and I'm like, how in the hell does that fix your teeth? But there's a little more to that now that she's
What does that have to do with her claiming to be the best patient?
Because you have to really take care of it. It's not like, when they put on the metal braces and they just stuck on your teeth, right?
I also remember our original son, remember that term, our original son losing his retainer at $500 a retainer.
Yes, well, there's none of that. So how old braces were metal, you put them in your mouth, you didn't take them off till the very end. Yeah. Well, these, she has to wear 20 of the 24 hours a day. And then every 2 weeks, you have to switch the trays out. It's a little more intense. It's not.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she clearly deserves an award for that.
Oh, shut up. You would give it to her.
She should be number one.
You would give it to her. Shit. Oh, my gosh.
So,
whatever.
I got to tell all these things came together in my head at once.
Oh, I bet you that was a conflict.
No, I sorted it out nicely. Thank you very much.
No, who sorted it out? The people in your brain?
Yeah, it's like if you've ever watched Loki and the TVA and how that machine gathers all the timelines in the universe and threads them together neatly on the other side of this machine. That was me that day. My brain was working like the TVA.
It must be hell in your brain.
It's difficult at times. Yeah, it's not as nice as you'd think. Anyway, so there was I'm just going to simplify. There was a story.
Wait, whoa! You're going to simplify something?
Yeah, I'm trying to dumb it down so you can understand it. Okay?
You said you wouldn't say dumb it down.
Can I? Well, you're irritating me. Can I move on now? All right. So if you've ever asked,
it's not a good day unless I irritate you. Okay, go.
Don't make me raise up and put hands on you, woman. I will come right across this table.
I want to watch. Let's go. Bring it.
I will come right across this table and lay hands on you.
Come on.
All right.
I'll keep poking the bear.
So I always tease my grandma. She was part of the greatest generation. It really was. I tried it with a bunch of old people back in the day. So these people were in their 70s when I was in my 30s or 40s or whatever.
Watch it.
But if you tell them, a super, super old person from back in the day, you say, hand me $1.
Oh.
And they don't want to. I'll hand you $1. Just go get $1 out of your wallet. So my grandmother would go to her wallet and take $1 out, and she would rub it between her fingers 16 times as she's handing it to me. And I was proving a point to the room that people that grew up during the Depression and World War II, they want to make sure they're not handing you $2.
That's right.
So they just out of instinct, when you say hand me $1, they try to separate to make sure there's not $2 bills stuck together.
Right.
All right. That was the greatest generation. I made this demonstration over and over and over again. And my mother, my father, my aunts and uncles, people that are boomers used to laugh. Oh, how cheap. What a bunch of cheap people. Cheap bastards. They just got a check for $1. They're cheap and how dumb. And everybody used to laugh.
$1 went a long way back in the day.
It did. And everyone laughed at my grandma, including
not anymore.
A bunch of boomers. Now, I remembered that story because there was an article I just saw, came across my phone the other day, about boomers are getting scammed online more than anyone else. Now, you would think boomers don't want to be on the computer. Boomers don't want to be on their phone. How can they get scammed? Plus, you have naive Gen Zs and soon Gen A's, Generation Alpha. They're young. They're stupid. They'll get scammed. Plus, millennials are just stupid. But no, the boomers are getting scammed. You're going to love this. And the
glad it's not Gen X. We're smart. We're too smart.
It wasn't us. It was boomers. And I'm reading this going, there is no way they're going to convince me that boomers are getting hammered with scams.
Which surprises me because we were told growing up, if something's free, it ain't. Like, wasn't that a saying?
Yeah. If it's too good to be true, nothing's free.
Nothing's free, yeah.
But the scam they're falling for.
Oh, geez.
An email will come up and say, you have a $7.37 credit with one of your credit card purchases. If you'd like this returned to your bank account as cash, you'd like it returned to your credit card, it's just sitting there. It was an overcharge. We've written you about it. If you want it's your money. It's your money. Do you want your $7.34?
It's an email.
So they're sitting down and they're so cheap. They're so like
they want that $7.33.
They're like, they get mad that they've done studies and interviews on the people I just wanted my $7 back. They said they had it wasn't their money, it was my money, and I wanted my $7 back. They're so cheap that when the email says you were overcharged, would you like your $3.20 back? They sit down with their cup of coffee and go, well, yes, I would. And they follow through this thing to get their money back because now they're mad that they lost their $3. They lost their $7. So all these boomers are getting taken for scams because they're so fucking cheap. They're going after the $3 that they think is theirs. It goes back. And these are the people that made fun of my grandmother for fiddling with $1 bill, and now they're doing it.
Yeah. You know, the emails I'm getting lately are for Amazon packages. They're emails that say, like, your Amazon order, da-da-da-da-da-da, and we need to check to make sure that this is right or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going over to my Amazon account, not you, but I get a lot of emails about that. Or there's a shipping problem, or it's something where you have to go in there and check and everything. I'm like, no, but there's a lot of them.
I'm getting the ones where they'll call me on the phone. A real person will say, it's like the boomer one, say, hey, there's been a mix up on your deal here, and there's like $200 for your credit card. We just need to reapply it to your credit card.
Yeah.
And there was a mix-up on Amazon, or there was a mix-up on eBay, and we need to reapply the $200. And I'll talk to him on the phone and say, yeah, go ahead. Well, we have to have your credit card information to be able to apply the difference. I said, well, how did you get the $200? They say, well, it was an overcharge in your credit card. What credit card?
Yeah, name me the last four digits of my credit card.
The credit card that you used on the purchase. I said, well, then how do you know it's even mine or the right credit card? If I give you a credit card, I've got several credit cards. How are you going to know I'm giving you the right one? Well, it'll match up in our computer system.
Then tell me the credit card number.
Then tell me the credit card information from your computer system.
That's right.
She says, well, sir, it's for safety reasons we have to verify. I go, yeah, that's why I'm making you verify it first. For my own safety, you're going to tell me the information, and I'll verify if you've got the right information. Sir, that's not the way it works. You're clearly not getting it. This is exactly how it fucking works. Click.
Hey, that just reminded me of the story of when I went to the bank last week. When I went to take out some money from the bank.
Yeah.
And I think I came home, I was so angry and so mad.
Oh, yeah.
That the teller asked me, I was withdrawing money.
I remember this now.
I was withdrawing a large sum of money, not that large, but a large sum of money. And the teller asked me, what's this money for? I gave her a look. I said, I asked her, I had her repeat it. I go, what'd you just say? She goes, what's this money for? It's a rather large sum. I go, first of all, this is my money.
Yeah.
And she looked at me because I didn't give her an answer. I go, it's really none of your business where I spend this money. And she looked at me like shocked.
Well,
and I'm like,
a millennial following instructions.
Yeah, I said, when did this become a thing? And she goes, well, we are doing this to provide a service that don't want you spending your money or being taken for your money. And I'm like, if I want to go roll in the street and my money, that's up to me. If I want to walk up and down the street and hand out thousands of dollars of money,
I will.
None of your business.
You got to just tell them, say, you know what? If I want to go fill up my swimming pool with $100 bills and Scrooge McDuck it, I'm diving in, and you can't stop me.
She was not happy with me because I was not telling her where I was spending the money. I'm like, it's none of your business. I have never had that happen before at a bank.
Before we hand you your money,
yes.
What are you going to go do with it?
That's what she did.
Well, they don't want you to be irresponsible. They're looking out for you. Thank God the government and the banking system is there to look out for each and every one of us.
I couldn't believe it. I got in the car and this was the same millennial daughter with the dentist thing. And she goes, what's wrong with you, Mom? And I'm like fuming right now. And she's like, what? And I told her the story and she goes, wow. She was a little shocked too. She goes, but you did tell him, right? And I'm like, no, it's none of their business what I do with my money.
You should have told him it's the money you owe your pimp. It's like, I got to pay my pimp his 10%.
No, it would have been better is I'm taking all this money home and I'm going to lay it on my bed. I'm going to roll around naked on it. Is that okay? That's what I should have said.
You should have said that.
Oh, well, I couldn't think that quickly.
Yeah.
I was shocked at just the comment or the question.
I can't. Well, I'm going to go in the next time and take out money. And of course, I don't have any money in my bank account to do that. You do. But I'm going to go in and when I get money one day, I'm going to go and take some out. And then I'm going to have my answer prepared.
I want you to. I want to be there the day you do it because you're just going to have them just
They will
roll.
call the cops on my answer. When the cops show up, I'm going to go, can you believe this motherfucker asked me where I'm spending my goddamn money? Tell this motherfucker, give me all the cash.
Okay, so that's the end of that story. But I have a bone to pick with you.
About what? What could you possibly... I didn't do anything this week.
On your desk, what? I found... I still can't believe it.
What? I have done nothing
I just
wrong.
saw money just go away from our bank account. There was like 11 open cans of soda that weren't even finished. It was like half full or not even... Or mostly full.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a knock on the door. Go find out. You know it's him. The red light's on and everything. He knows you're not supposed to. The house better be on fucking fire if he's opening the studio door with the red light on. There better be a fucking emergency or a pizza. What do you want? Fucking red light's on. What do you want that's so fucking important? What?
I made you your thing.
I'm in the middle of a podcast.
That's Tuesday. Why is there stuff knocked over?
Look at we got a little rowdy. It's the middle of the fucking podcast. The red light's on. Why are you knocking on the fucking door?
Because I have multiple things that I needed to come in here for. And it's racked up enough that I need to be in here.
The only good part about this is that Mom...
Wait, not now.
Not now.
Well, no, but look,
It's not now.
Look how big it is. No, it's way too. Moved about half that size. You have to measure this across, and you can't just guess in construction.
Oh my goodness.
It said 10 inches.
No. fuck
Your
that.
dad's really happy you just interrupted because he was getting in trouble right now.
Well, then you're calling it the wrong thing because it's the
It's the
field
L2.
one. I know, but you keep calling it the L2.
It is. It's the
When
L2
I
plus.
looked up the L2.
L2 plus. L2
Oh,
plus.
God.
Tell me plus on the list.
Well,
You're not giving me correct instructions.
Okay, listen. The
This
only
is cool.
it is kind of cool. I'm glad that you did that. But can you cut it in half? You just make it.
Why can't you-
Oh
Look,
my gosh.
it's
Can
a
we
little-
discuss this
It's a
later?
little longer than a cell phone.
Hey,
see?
Dad's just keeping you around because he was in trouble.
I
No,
wasn't in trouble.
he's in big trouble.
She said that I left 11 cans of soda full and open on my desk.
Yes.
Probably did. Hold on.
See, he's not even backing you up. He said you probably did.
Okay, there's
11
Yes.
cans. I counted 11 cans. Would
Okay.
your dad leave 11 cans open on his desk with
Yeah.
some soda in it?
With half a box of Oreos.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys aren't listening. You guys are. Which one are you on here?
Oh my goodness.
3?
Yeah. Dude, we've been over this like 40 times.
That's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
He's
now,
not listening.
Now you're on. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I know which one's which.
I don't want guests in here. The red light was on to keep people away. All right. There was 11 cans of soda open.
Did you hear that? He admitted it. Okay.
I'm not admitting anything. I'm
You
telling
said there
a
was
story.
11 open.
Your Honor, can I have the floor, please? I'm finished with my story. This was in the interest of science.
Oh, let's hear this one.
Okay.
Soda evaporates faster.
No, it was way cooler than that.
Wait,
All right.
listen. Okay, I'll hear you out. This is for science.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes, there was 11 cans of soda on my desk. All of them open. None of them were drank out of at all. I will concede the evidence, Your Honor.
Okay.
Now,
Guilty.
what happened was in the middle of the night, I was thinking how we do live streams and we show a picture sometimes and someone has to guess what the picture is, where it's from. It's usually 80s related or something, what movies is from, what album covers is from. It's visual. What if, and here comes the brainstorm, what if we did audio? What if I played a sound from our childhood? What if I played a sound that was unique to us being growing up, something that came about? And I thought, aluminum cans for beer and soda happened. They were developed when we were kids. Remember the old pull tabs? Beer and sodas had a pull tab. You'd throw it away. The aluminum cans with that distinct cracking sound, I thought this will be great. Everybody knows what that is.
So you had to do it to 11 cans?
I couldn't get the sound right. I was trying to record the sound, and I was trying to record. I couldn't go out to the studio, so I was holding my phone up to it, and I'd open up a can, and the first two didn't make the noise. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. They made some weird half-ass crack noise. I go, that isn't the noise. Soda cans 3, 4, 5, and 6 were pretty good, but I didn't get a good recording on it. So I kept going, and by soda can 10 and 11, I got a pretty good recording of a soda can being opened.
Kid, this should have been your science project.
He always gets mad at me for wasting drinks and wasting
Exactly.
stuff. I'm like,
It
what?
isn't wasting if you're doing it for science.
Did you
Oh,
drink
there's
it?
your
Yeah, that's
get
my-
out of
that's
jail
my
free
get out of jail
card.
card.
It was for the betterment of Gen X Talks,
Oh God.
extras, the Legion
Hey,
of X.
can I ask something? We live in the age of computers. Couldn't you just look up that
Yeah, you
sound
could've.
on the computer instead of wasting 11 cans?
I probably could have, but isn't this
We
more
live-
authentic?
How would people know?
Because I tell them, I did this for you. This is, I would say,
Oh
by the
my
way, ladies and gentlemen, this
gosh.
was
You know-
my fingers opening up my soda can with my phone, and I recorded it. You're welcome, America.
I can't be
And
that
Denmark.
mad at you, Dad, because I was doing some of my friends. I was making a soundboard, right? And we were putting a ton of random sounds on there. And I had a soda can next to me. So instead of looking up the crack, I did the exact same thing of cracking it
You
in front
see?
of my mic.
That is just that's.
Do you know what
just-
sound?
But I got it first try.
But
Do you
did
know
you
what-
drink the soda?
Oh, yeah, I drank it.
Okay, well,
I
then
can't drink 11 sodas. Come on.
then you should have got it on the first try.
I'm not that good. I'm not that talented. I'm
like,
sorry.
I'm like that. You
Now,
should have asked me.
Do you know what sound with aluminum cans that I bet no one would know? And don't even tell me you didn't do this. There's probably listeners out there that did this. But when soda cans were done, we'd put them on the ground
Oh,
and
yeah.
stomp our
Stomp
feet on them, and the soda cans would fold
The clickety clack.
around the side of your shoes, and you could walk with soda cans on your feet. Do you realize there's millennials listening to this going, what the fuck? He's talking? What is he talking about?
That was awesome. That was so great.
It was
I
so
loved
fun
it.
to do when you're little. And I wonder
We were so creative when we were younger.
absolutely creative.
We used to put playing cards on the spokes of our
Huh?
bikes to make that click, click, click,
Yep.
click, click noise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were
We
creative.
put water bottles on top of like the back wheel, so like it wouldn't like strap, but it would get caught.
It
so
would
it'd be
get caught. It would make that.
like, yeah.
Yeah, your shit was dumb. Our shit was cool.
Ours is cool. Ours is way more inventive.
Hey, Gen Z, I have a
You
question.
can just say my name.
But not right now, because it affects Generation Z. I saw something on the news, and I'll tell you it was CBS News because I was at the salon.
Oh my
so
God.
take
She
it.
said PBS.
She was watching CBS News.
So take it whatever way you want. But
All right.
it said in the next election, 40% of the voters are going to be Gen Z and millennials.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Really? You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah, because, well, Generation X is the smallest generation. I mean, other than Alpha, they're being born, but Z is bigger, millennials are bigger, boomers were bigger. Boomers did not have all the kids. There was a lot of, that was the movement of women want to get a job and be in the work. So there's not, Generation X is the smallest generation.
So Gen Z, you are now 18, so you could be a part of that 40% of voting.
You can be part of fucking up our country by choosing the wrong person.
That's kind of scary in a way. 40%, that's a lot.
Well, that's the worst part is they're choosing what happens to us now.
Yeah.
They're making the rules.
Yes.
Or they will be, you know.
That is scary.
So while you're here, I was going to let you know that you know how we always get advertisements from TikTok. Hey, would you like to partner? Would you like to collaborate? Would you
Yeah.
like to? We can't. I always delete them. I never even read them. But there was one today called Magic Sponge, and I went,
Ooh.
okay, I got to see what this is. And I clicked it, and I was like, okay, that's dumb, and I just
A
deleted
magic sponge?
it. Yeah,
I would have liked to.
Is it like the magic eraser? Like,
I don't know. It wasn't anything cool though, so I just got
well,
rid
you
of
wouldn't
it.
know. You don't clean the house.
No.
Yeah, why? I would have liked to have tried that. Like,
Yeah.
Why
Tried
would you?
it?
It's just, it was a dumb article. You never care about anything ever that we do. Why would this
I
one?
know nobody asked for my opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Nobody
Princess.
wants me to try things out.
You wanted me to bring to you the magic sponge people?
Yes.
What for?
Sounds magical.
Okay, it isn't an intimate half hour in the bathtub alone with yourself.
How do you know?
Well, I'm assuming it wasn't that kind of a magic sponge.
Maybe it's the most magical sponge you've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure it would have tingled your whole body. I'm not calling
How
them
do you
back.
know?
I deleted the email. I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to the kid about it. Kid, we made an executive decision. No magic sponges, and it's gone.
Okay.
But maybe he wants to try it.
Okay, if he wants to have a magical half hour in the bathtub
Oh,
with
yeah.
a magic sponge, we've got problems. We got bigger problems than worrying about what you're doing in the bathtub with a magic sponge.
Oh, okay.
That bathtub's gonna be squeaky clean.
All right, so we went off the reservation with that
Yeah, there you go.
conversation.
You brought up the magic sponge.
I was talking to you about something that we didn't
Don't
do.
talk about magic sponges, okay? This is an anti-magic spun.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry
you
I
just
brought
made
it
it.
up. I'm goddamn sorry.
He's turning red over there.
I'm angry. This is my angry.
Ah, he's
Yeah.
turning red
There's
because
steam
of
coming out of his
that.
ears.
I'm not embarrassed. This is my angry red.
You're gonna get 1920s work whistle angry.
What the hell does that even
You know, like the work whistle, the
End of the workday.
Yeah.
That's how angry you're gonna get. You're gonna make this, steam coming out of your ears.
I've never heard that before.
As dumb as that is, that's fucking cool that he even knows that. You're going to get 1920s steam whistle angry.
We are amazing parents.
We are the greatest parents ever.
Oh yeah,
are.
just take credit. Yeah.
We are.
Well, yeah, if you become successful.
I got that from Family Guy.
Oh,
And
now
thank-
he's breaking our hearts.
Well, thank your brother, your older millennial
Oh my God.
tree hugging, pot smoking, computer fixing liberal brother for that.
Yeah, 'cause
and
you
then
watch-
who brought him along? Us. So
Yes.
indirectly,
You're welcome.
Yeah, you know what? Thank God. Just
You're
thank God. Go
welcome.
all the way back
You're
to
welcome.
God.
God did make a good choice putting us in charge of a family of 8.
Yeah.
You know, it was one of the, I know you think this is a joke and we say it in jest. There was so many times when mom and I were in our 30s.
We'd go
and
upstairs, close the door, and
and
go.
go, who put us in charge? Who thought that? I mean, I know her. She knows me. I know her history. She knows my history of being people.
What was God thinking?
Well, she always used to come and she goes, we'd have some controversy in the house. We'd go upstairs and shut the bedroom door, and she'd go, someone's going to find out we're raising kids, and they're going to take them away. They're going to be pissed. They're going to come along. All right, who said these two could raise children?
I think our parents said the same thing. They probably were shaking their head.
They
going,
had to
what?
have side bets on how long this was even going to last.
I'm sure they did. Oh my
Lasted
gosh.
forever.
So, hey, while he's here, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm thinking of getting Dad work boots that all he has to do is pull on.
No.
Pull on work
No.
boots?
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
First of all, there's no such thing. Those
Yes,
would be
there is,
okay.
just so you know.
No, we had those as kids in the 80s. They were called moon boots, and they sucked.
They're not, no.
I remember moon
They're
boots.
work boots.
Bullshit. There's no steel toe
Yes, there
slip-on
is.
boot that looks badass. You know what? When Carhartt makes a slip-on boot, let me know.
Oh, Carhartt. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
look that up.
Well,
See,
you know
what?
It's like-
Carhartt, if they make slip-on boots, Carhartt probably makes a pretty mean nighty for you too.
So what's the problem with it?
That's just stupid. I wouldn't want to. Yeah, man, you got to put boots with laces and you cinch them up, not that you
So in
slip them
Back
on.
to the Future, when they had self-tying shoes, it was bad.
Those were tennis shoes. Those were Nike. That's different.
Here we go.
So if it's a work boot,
Now, can't do it. No. And I wouldn't mind Michael J. Fox's self-drying jacket too.
can you tie your own laces?
Yeah. But I don't want to slip on. So there's no way I'm doing a slip on.
There it is.
What? That's not that. I
That's
can't
a
even
work
see.
boots.
Yeah, it's work.
I can't see it. There's
it's
nothing on the
work-
screen.
It's work boot slip on. Yeah,
I'm not doing it. There's no way.
Yes,
no,
you are going to do it.
There's no self-respecting man that would have
You
a
can't
steel
see
toe
it. You-
slip-on work.
How
would
could you
that
tell?
work?
You wouldn't even. You can't even tell what yours
Okay,
are right now
when-
because your laces are covered by your pants.
Okay,
so
listen.
what does it matter?
Because it makes. How would it even work?
Yeah.
Why do you have laces? Because once you put your foot inside, you need to lace the boot tight. So if you can put on the boot and there's no laces, it can't be tight. Yeah, mathematics 101, not even common core.
I feel like it kind of works like same thing how a Chinese finger trap works. You know, you put your
Exactly.
fingers in really easily, but it's hard to take them out. So
Yes,
if you
it
can do
has
that,
like a stretchy thing on the side that just kind of collapses on your ankle
Yeah.
because your ankles are smaller than your feet.
I really hate that analogy you just gave.
I mean, it's really simple. You know, if they were able to do it that many years ago,
A Chinese finger torture, huh? Where'd you get that one from, too?
Well, I gave those to all the kids when they were
Exactly.
little. I'd put all their fingers in them. They'd run around the house screaming because they couldn't get their fingers out.
Exactly.
I remember you gave me one of those like 2 years ago, and I forgot how to get out. I just went.
And
like,
broke it
ripped
apart.
Good, break
I
the
am.
stuff
I'm
I
getting
give
you
you.
some without laces.
I'm not going to wear them. They're not going to look cool. They're not.
How do they not?
You go outside?
How are they not going to
I
look
walk
cool?
from the house to the studio.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
don't want the dogs judging me.
Goes outside.
who's looking at you?
I don't
That's
want the-
right. When he goes to that construction site called the studio.
Yeah.
What if I do end up on a construction site? You want all the fellow construction workers making fun of me because of my boots?
When that day happens, I'll be there taking pictures.
Hey, you think next door neighbor Glenn is gonna be like, oh, you he's like peeking over the fence, stupid boots.
Yeah, see, I can't have that.
Oh,
The goat that
brother.
lives over there.
Yeah, I'm not
judging
doing
your
it.
boots?
Not having it. Okay, can we be done with this? I'm tired of you guys beating the shit out of me.
No.
You
All right,
answer my
ready?
question
Look at
about
me.
all the-
Don't cheat. Look at me. How long have we been on?
It's over an hour. Hour and 6 minutes.
Hour and 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Whoa!
Wow.
I am so good.
It'll be-
I always do the time.
I wonder if people look at their timer when we do this, because I have to add the intro to it and stuff, so it's longer. It's off. But when I'm looking at the recording, the live recording of
Yeah.
it, she's right on. She's very rarely off. There's been sometimes she's been off by like 7 seconds.
I don't even know when he pushes the button when he does start.
No.
I just know how long I've been sitting here.
Yeah, you know.
Well, it's nice having Gen Z Kid in here.
I'm glad that every woman can say they know how long they've been yapping their jaw. That's a good thing to know.
You took that word from me.
You
What?
two
Yapping.
better watch it.
What do you mean? Yeah, I didn't take. You think you came up with the word yapping?
Dogs
I mean,
yap.
someone did, but like I
yapping's
started.
been-
I know, but I started saying it recently, and now you're saying it. You
Oh
took
my
it from me.
God. He thinks that he comes up with words. It's the first time I've ever heard him. You know what? Ain't
All
my
words
first
are made up
rodeo.
dead.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? You know, since you have a podcast, you are a professional yapper.
If that ever shows up on a business card, I'm going to shoot somebody.
You're a professional yapper.
Professional yapper.
All right, so you're not even supposed to be here, so just say goodbye and get off the air.
What? Why? You didn't answer my question about all the.
Well, we got to say goodbye. We're ending the podcast.
Yeah, say goodbye.
Wow, you guys are kicking me out.
Okay.
So mean. I
Now
just
or
got
never.
here.
Well, we're kicking you
Bye,
out
guys.
sometime.
All right, honey,
Bye, guys.
say goodbye, wave
Bye,
goodbye.
everyone.
Thank you guys for tuning in. The audio portion will be up tomorrow morning. That means Dr. McDreamy can have an hour and 8-minute walk around the block. That also means that Two Bear has to buy donuts for the whole dealership. And that means that I get to say goodbye wherever you're tuning in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you're listening in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember 2 things. 1, wherever you go, there you are. And 2, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Oh, that's right. I said it.